All right, Cap. So, what I am seeing here is that in the heart of the reading, commitment here is a very big thing for you. So, either this is something that is on your mind, you're wanting to be committed, or there was a committed relationship that you were in, or marriage is on your mind, or this reading so far has to do with a marriage. What I am seeing here is that most recently there was an ending or will be an ending, because when we're talking about time, time is fluid. So, some of these events may have already started to happen, could happen in the next couple of weeks, couple of months, that sort of thing. So if this hasn't happened already, for some of you, it looks like it will. Again, this is a general reading, so take it how it resonates. But there is an ending here that I see. And the ending has to do with a tower moment. So to me, it seems that there is something here that does happen when it comes to a relationship. There was an argument or a breakup, or there was information that came out about this individual. Now, again, the roles could change. This could be something that you ended or someone else ended. But with the Queen of Swords here, because of whatever that tower moment involved, I'm getting the idea that there might have been a secret or secrets or something going on behind the scenes that was exposed and caused a tower moment. And someone cut that shit out with the Queen of Swords. They were like, I'm not willing to deal with this. I'm out of here. That's what the Queen of Swords does. She pulls you to the forefront and says, and look at the image. She pulls you to the forefront and says, it's time for you to go on the chopping block, and this is why. Off with your head. It's that energy here. Now, what I am seeing is that this ending involved someone who was the King of Cups to this person, okay? Again, let's not get wrapped up in gender. This could be male or female. But this was someone that you really loved, you really trusted, you really had a lot of love for, and you did not see this coming. This was something that you really invested in. You thought the person was invested in you. With the Lover's card also here, this was someone that you considered your soulmate. This could have been a twin flame situation. But this is also a love decision. So you made a decision pertaining to this person to end things because of this tower moment. Whatever was exposed, there was an ending based on, again, what was going on behind the scenes. Speaking of, with the Three of Cups being present here, guys, I do hate it. No one wants to hear a third-party situation. Third party doesn't always mean that it's another person involved romantically with someone. This could be the case here, but it could also be gossip about the relationship or other friends or family members, being involved in the relationship itself. I do feel like there was someone or some other people involved in the situation that was exposed, and that is what caused the situation, okay? And this is someone that you wanted to be committed to or thought that you were committed to. Again, this could be, third party situation within a committed relationship or a marriage, all right? But either way, this third party situation, again, whoever was on the receiving end of this knowledge that was brought that caused the relationship to end, felt defeated, felt betrayed by this King of Cups energy here, okay? Someone that they thought that they could trust, someone that they really thought loved them. And so I'm seeing a lot of heartache here. Again, with the Six of Swords here, walking away. So someone decided to really walk away from the situation. It was just way too much for the soul. And, it really caused a lot of burdens. There was a lot of burdens with this individual, especially when you thought that you could trust them and there was betrayal. that you never saw coming. You really thought that this was the person that was, your destined person. You were soulmates. You really felt that strong connection and bond with this person. And, this is something that was not easy to walk away from. So if you haven't walked away from this yet, and you do know that you've been exposed to some information, some type of betrayal, it's just the burden of it all, the burden of the information, the burden that this person brings, to the table is just way too much. The Queen of Pentacles comes out. This talks about being single, okay? There's so many different meanings to the Queen of Pentacles. In this reading, this is ultimately being single, going from, a union with someone and having that strong connection to the betrayal and, deciding to walk away now leaves someone here single, okay? So this is what I'm seeing. So let's just get some more clarity here as to the love situation. So I'm going to get some advice here from my Romance Angels deck and see what they have to say about this. Yeah, and the interesting thing is, no matter which way I read this, diagonal or horizontally, this reading just keeps coming out to be, betrayal and ending, it just being too burdensome, going from being with someone and ending and being single. So, yeah, this reading is very, very clear here. All right, let's see what the Romance Angels has to say about this situation. Is this the end of the situation? Yeah, out pops free yourself, okay? It says it's time to take back control of your life, all right? So, I mean, absolutely. I'm seeing that is the case here. You did have to free yourself if you haven't already. We have 3 cards here that are just really, really dark. I mean, you have the betrayal, feeling stabbed in the back, which causes an ending, being done with it, and then deciding to walk away. So it's no surprise that the Free Yourself card has presented itself. I am going to get some guidance here from my Archangel deck to see how you can move forward from this. So, for some of you, you may have been the individual that was involved in a third-party situation, and you were the one, that got let go. Or this could be you, Capricorn. This could be you that discovered that there was something going on here behind your back. Wow. The Relationship Harmony card comes out. It says, we angels are opening the hearts of everyone involved. Arguments and conflicts are being resolved now. Okay? All right. So, although you've walked away, and I do think that you needed to, or that person needed to, there is going to be some type of resolve. Now, just because we're seeing relationship harmony, for some of you, that does not mean that you're going to go back to this person. It might just mean that you need to understand what has happened here and allow the conflict to resolve itself within yourself, not allowing you to now be turned away from having relationships with other people. Because what happens sometimes is once you get so scarred from someone that you really trusted, someone that you had a deep connection with, and there's this betrayal, sometimes people really shut down, and now there is no harmony within them. They look at relationships as something that they're just not willing to do. They don't want to open up ever again. So there's going to be some healing there. All right. The next card that presents itself is the Angel Therapy card. It says, give your cares and worries to the angels and allow them to take your burdens. Wow. Listen, we just said right here, this is the burden card. This was a lot of burden. So if you're contemplating over and over about this situation, like I just said, there needs to be some resolve. There needs to be some harmony within your inner being. Some of you are like, how could this happen? Why did this happen? Was it me? You know, you need to understand that sometimes these things happen and it doesn't have anything to do about you being flawed, okay? And so sometimes we place the burden on ourselves based on what other people do to us. And so this is what I'm hearing. Let's get some wisdom of the oracle advice here. What should Capricorn expect moving forward, or how should they get their mind space prepared for the next step in their life? Okay, let's see what is in store here for you. Yeah, I really hate when situations like this happen, and you'll see some really good people and they'll really be questioning themselves. You know, where did I go wrong? What's wrong with me? Did I not provide enough? Did I not have enough money to give to her? Am I not pretty enough for him? You know, it's that sort of energy. Okay. All right, so you did get the go to the sea card. Okay, so let's take a look at that and see what advice is there. Okay, let's see here. All right, so it says that there are points in a relationship when you have to decide to go with the flow rather than dictate the course you share with another. Can you let go of the need to have things your way and allow the relationship itself, your goals, your desires to steer the ship? Can you both transcend your personalities and allow the partnership to form its own identity, its own energy? Now is the time to relax and see where this mutual journey leads. Okay, so what I'm seeing there is some of you may be obsessing, you know, over this, like I said. In relationships, you kind of just have to let them flow. So I feel like when you are in union with someone or you're building with someone, you have to let it flow the way that it needs to. And what I've learned is sometimes things end because they need to end. It has nothing to do with who you are as a person, not being good enough, that sort of thing. It really just means that that person is not meant for you. There's someone else, or this could possibly mean that this is just, you know, a fork in the road. And sometimes these things happen and build better awareness in a situation, and there is something that you were to learn. Some of you, there could be some union or reunion that happens. Let's see. Just want to clarify one last thing here. Yeah, and also sometimes, you know, sometimes we just have to go alone. You know, sometimes, you know, when you're in a relationship and you're not really being true to yourself and your desires, you know, you now take on other people's goals and their desires. And, you know, sometimes you just have to go it alone. You have to let things flow. If they end, you know, you have to free yourself and you have to find the harmony within yourself, and you have to let go of the burdens in order for things to change, in order for other things to open up. You know, sometimes we get so lost in relationships. Okay. Yep, the separation card. I just wanted to clarify, was this something that was going to have reconciliation anytime soon? But it says that time apart from your partner is on the horizon. So yeah, this is a situation where you definitely need to walk away, or you will walk away, because there, of course, is other individuals. And again, this doesn't necessarily, with the third party situation, it doesn't necessarily mean that your partner, or you, if this is the case, was dealing with someone else romantically. It could just be that there was other people involved, and this is what causes, you know, the breakdown in a marriage or in a committed relationship. You know, the gossiping, telling, you know, information, personal, intimate information, or, you know, really just spending more time with, you know, friends and family other than your loved ones. But yeah, this is definitely needed. There is a separation that needs to happen. This could come back around to something else, but I don't see any reconciliation at this point. Not to say that it won't happen, but this situation here is signaling you to let this flow, let this go right now for yourself, and really get focused back into what you want and what you need in your life. And, you know, maybe this will teach, you know, someone a lesson here. Let's get some messages from your personal spirit guides. You know, the people that you love and miss that have passed on to the other side. Let's see what their specific message is for you. I like to pull these out when there needs to be some type of additional comfort or advice. So, Spirit, please, I'm calling all spirit guides for those that really need to hear this message. What is the message that you have for them, Spirit? Spirit guides and angels. Let's see. Okay. All right, so it says human beings spend a huge percentage of life asleep, not just in bed, but the kind where you forget you are a spiritual, immortal being taking on temporary human form. It's not your fault. Everyone suffers from spiritual amnesia once in a while. As you develop an identity, an ego, you begin to see through the eyes of a small self and have less connection to your soul self. You may not recognize this is going on, but you sure can feel it. We're here to remind you to look through your soul's eyes and see that magic is everywhere. Infinite potential lies in spirit, who is teaming with you to fulfill the contract you made to contribute to the evolution of the whole world. Wake up and remember that all the help you need is orchestrated in the invisible realms. Your mind, in alignment with divine intelligence, is unstoppable. The world is yours to co-create. You are so loved, and we all are all behind you. Yeah, so this message here, to me, you know, like I just said, sometimes we do fall asleep on ourselves. You know, we totally invest in relationships. We totally lose who we are, like I was just saying. And some of you have your own goals, your own passions, your own life purposes that you need to play out. And I'm getting that this situation is really holding you back, or was holding you back from really co-creating what it was deep within your soul. Okay, this situation was hindering you from manifesting something particular in your life that you were meant and destined to do. So with this freeing of thyself, this will allow you to really dive into what that means for you. Okay, And sometimes that's what happens. And especially if this is a twin flame situation, a lot of times that's what happens. You know, people don't just go into union and they're together forever. Sometimes, you know, there is this in and out, there's different stages to a twin flame situation. But sometimes when we are disconnected from someone, that is when we create the most beautiful selves. You know, we hear it in music. People make beautiful music when they've lost people that they've loved. You know, people are now able to say, you know, when my husband or my wife left me, that's when I really was able to build my multi-million dollar business, that sort of thing, you know. And with soulmate connections, a lot of times there is something you need to learn here. So for some of you, it could just be the plain fact that maybe you're just putting too much into other people and not yourself, putting too much burden on yourself to really be in love and be in connection and union with someone, and not focusing on yourself and what your purpose is here on this earth and what your goals are. So this is what I have for you, Capricorn. I know that this seems like a daunting reading. It's kind of dark, you know, burden, separation, third party, betrayal, walking away. But for some of you, there is a message here, and the message is to truly wake up to yourself and allow your soul to really come forward.